Hello everyone! The wildlife of our planet is fantastic, and sometimes it creates living creatures that because of their unusual appearance or abilities look like aliens from another planet. And today I offer you to look at real animals similar to aliens. Blue sea dragon. Blue dragon, scientific name Glaucus atlanticus, the small strange creature, very much like a space alien, actually belongs to the class of gastropod mollusks and is one of the beautiful and rare sea creatures on Earth. A strange feature in blue dragons is the daily body posture, with the back facing downwards and the feet pointing towards the surface of the water. Thus, these creatures spend almost their entire life in a head-down position. But he got his name dragon not only for its external resemblance. The fact is that the blue dragon has mastered an interesting adaptation mechanism. He is a predator and calmly attacks poisonous animals, and when those inject poison into him, absorbs it without harm and further uses it as a defense himself. Their blue body color helps camouflage themselves in their environment. They mainly inhabit the seas of the tropics, but the largest aggregations of these mollusks are found off the coasts of Australia, Southeast Africa, and are occasionally found in European waters. Unlike most gastropod mollusks, blue dragons belong to a group of biological organisms that live on the surface of the water and never sink to the bottom of the ocean. In addition to everything else, each individual possesses male and female sex glands, and after mating, both lay eggs. Axolotl. The axolotl is an amphibian that lives in the mountain rivers and lakes of Central America. It is the larva of some species of Ambystoma, which in the process of evolution has acquired the ability to reproduce without turning into an adult organism. The size of adults reaches 30 centimeters, weighing up to 300 grams. The torso of the axolotl consists of a disproportionately large head with a wide mouth, slightly flattened from the sides of the body, and a long tail. And their notable feature is the 3 pairs of gills that stick out on the sides of the head. Another characteristic feature of the axolotl is the different ways of breathing. Ambystoma larvae can breathe with gills, lungs, and even skin. In clean water mainly work gills, but in polluted and poorly aerated environment in the case of the lungs come into play, and the gills are partially atrophied. But with the return of favorable conditions, gill branches grow back. Nature has endowed the larva with a strong ability to regenerate. It can restore most of the lost body parts, such as gills, fins, legs, and even some internal organs. At the same time, axolotl is a predator, but in relation to each other does not show any aggression. Arctiine moth. Among the bear butterflies of the genus Creatinotos ganges, which inhabit Southeast Asia, Australia, and Africa, there are very unusual specimens called Arctiine moths. These are small butterflies with wingspans reaching 4 centimeters. But they are distinguished by the fact that the males of this species in its appearance manages to combine the outlines of a butterfly, caterpillar, and millipede at the same time. In the course of evolution, they acquired special hairy outgrowths in the lower part of the body, resembling large paws. These organs are called charemats. They consist of tubes, on which are located up to 3,000 scales, which have the shape of hairs. During the mating season, the charemata is ejected from the end of the abdomen and can be as long as the wings. It produces a substance that attracts individuals of the opposite sex, hydroxydonatal. This pheromone can be smelled by females at a distance of several kilometers. But in addition to attracting the female, it also serves as a defense against predators, and the amount of hydroxydonatal secreted by adults depends entirely on what food the caterpillar eats. The more alkaloids are contained in the plants eaten by the caterpillar, the more active the males emit the pheromone. Giant isopod. Giant isopod is the oldest representative of the fauna, which has not changed over millions of years, successfully surviving in different conditions. Back in the Mesozoic era, isopods widely inhabited fresh waters and were formidable predators. At that time, they had no serious competitors on the food chain and were rarely attacked by other predators. Giant isopods belong to the scavenger class and therefore were able to adapt to different habitat conditions, which allowed them to coexist for millions of years without changing their physiology. Most of their diet consists of dead fish and crustaceans, but another amazing ability of isopods is in long starvation, in which they can safely live without food for many months. Externally, the isopod is very similar to the mochitsa, but only 10 times larger. Adults grow up to 50 centimeters in length, and the largest of them was recorded with a length of 76 centimeters and a weight of 1 kilogram, 700 grams. Kinabalu Leech. This species of leech lives on the island of Borneo, and its length reaches up to half a meter. Local tribes call it the giant red leech because of its impressive size. This species of leech stopped enjoying the banal sucking of the blood of their victims and switched to eating them whole. Therefore, the red leech has adapted to feed on local blue worms, swallowing them whole and digesting them for a month. In order to find its victim, the leech tracks a slimy trail on the grass left by the worm. Having found the victim, the leech scrutinizes the body of the worm, looking for where it ends up. Then, having estimated the size of the meal, it proceeds to the meal, sucking the worm whole, like spaghetti. If the leech overestimates its capabilities and cannot cope with too large prey, it simply regurgitates the victim, freeing itself from the previously swallowed worms. Shoebill. Also known as the whalebill and whale-headed stork, it is a large bird native to the tropical swamps of East Africa. Adult height is about 1.5 meters with a wingspan reaching 2.5 meters. Despite its impressive stature, the shoebill weighs less than 7 kilograms. These birds have an uncharacteristic feature: their massive head in diameter is comparable to the size of the torso, which is why the unusual birds gave such a name. A huge wide beak about 25 centimeters long allows them to hunt fish very skillfully, but they also do not mind to eat frogs and even reptiles. Moreover, at the end of their beak has a curved point, which the bird can easily pierce even the shell of a turtle. In nature, whaleheads live alone, and pairs are formed only during the breeding season. About how the mating period of these creatures, scientists know little yet. They only know that the nests of these birds are huge platforms with a diameter of about 2.5 meters, for the manufacture of which shoebill use stems of papyrus and reeds. Within about 5 days, the female lays up to 3 eggs, and after a month the chicks hatch and are raised by both parents. At the age of 4 months the chicks become adults. However, out of 3 chicks, usually only 1 survives. Most likely, this is the reason why the shoebill is on the verge of extinction today. There are only about 10,000 of them left in the world. Gorgonocephalus. Gorgonocephalus, or as they are also called, Gorgon's head, is one of the amazing inhabitants of the seafloor. They mainly live in the seas of the Arctic and Antarctic and are very similar to starfish. Like stars, their bodies have radial symmetry, which consists of a flat central disc with generic holes on the underside. But unlike them, it is composed of skeletal formations resembling vertebrae, which gives them this mobility. The diameter of the disc of an adult Gorgonocephalus is 15 centimeters, and the length of its distributed rays reaches up to half a meter. Thus, this creature with unfolded tentacles can occupy an area equal to almost 1 square meter. Most of their diet consists of small crustaceans up to 1 centimeter long, but thanks to their tenacious tentacles, they can easily catch small fish. Star-nosed mole or stargazer is a mammal of the mole family. Stargazer is distinguished from other moles by 22 outgrowths on the snout, which makes the animal resemble an alien. This species can be found only in North America, in southeastern Canada and the northeastern United States. As we know, vision is not the strongest point of moles. Instead, the stargazer has an excellent organ of touch, with the help of which it can find potential prey in a fraction of a second. In addition, scientists consider these growths the most sensitive system of touch known to science. Starfish find prey in the water, underground and on the surface. They eat earthworms, insects and their larvae, less often, crustaceans and small fish. The starfish itself is not a very large animal, usually the size of its body barely exceeds 10 centimeters, sometimes reaching 20 centimeters. Stargazers are also the first mammals that can sense odors underwater. To do this, moles blow bubbles into the water and then draw them back in with their nostrils. This allows the starfish to pick up odors. Hammerhead worms. This creature seems like a character from some sci-fi movie come to life, a ruthless and agile predator. Hammerhead worms are predatory worms living in the forests of Asia and East Africa. A characteristic feature of their structure is a hammer-like head. Some species have dull colors, including shades of brown and gray, that make them inconspicuous in their environment, but most species are marked by very colorful patterns. Hammerhead under favorable conditions grows to 25 to 50 centimeters, and sometimes more than 90 centimeters in length. Proved itself as an experienced and insidious predator, able to track the desired victim and quickly dispose of it. Any attempts at resistance are futile. It covers the prey with its body, while gluing itself to it with a viscous mucus. The thing is, it contains tetrodotoxin. It's a pretty strong neuroparalytic venom. It's mainly used by marine animals, such as the pufferfish. In terrestrial invertebrates, the hammerhead worm is the only one that produces it. However, the venom of a single individual is not enough to cause serious damage to humans. Goblin Shark. Goblin Shark or Mitsucarina is a deep-sea shark, the only member of the genus Mitsucarina. It was named for its bizarre appearance. The snout of this shark ends with a long beak-like outgrowth, and long jaws can be far extended. Coloration is also unusual. Close to pink, blood vessels shine through the translucent skin. The largest known individual reached a length of 3.8 meters and weighed 210 kilograms. Occurs at depths of over 200 meters, worldwide from Australian Pacific waters to the Gulf of Mexico, Atlantic. Diet consists of deep-sea squid, crabs, and fish. In total, only 45 specimens of this shark are known to science, either caught or beached. Pacific goblin sharks are characterized by their larger size. The species was first scientifically described in 1898. Do you want more interesting and informative? Then subscribe to the channel to learn all the most interesting things that happen on our planet and beyond.